Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Rustling. Experimental Island. Snake Den. A large number of young snakes lay on the ground, densely packed, looking very crazy, and the sound was constant. But when the finished medicine evolves and is absorbed by these young snakes, Ibe can clearly feel that their IQ is improving rapidly. Chi. Even when the letter is spit out, some simple exchanges can be made. However, what really shocked Ibe was elsewhere. The first young snake to obtain the finished evolution potion climbed out of the gravel mountain and rushed to a mutant wild boar. ZZ. Click, click. Gulyulu. Then, Ibe clearly saw that the young snake desperately began to devour the meat of the wild boar. At the beginning, I could only eat a little at a time. But as the meat enters the mouth, the body of the young snake is growing rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. While it grows larger, it continues to be swallowed. This unreasonable growth rate is also unlimited. The phagocytic system helps the same. Chi. As the other young snakes joined. Around the gravel mountain, the original large number of mutated beast corpses quickly decreased. Instead, 1,000 young mutant reticulated pythons hatched. Their bodies are growing wildly. 15 centimeters, 20 centimeters, 30 centimeters. In less than an hour, the youngest snake was a full meter long. This situation stunned the golden lion who was guarding the distance. On the gravel mountainside, Wangwon, Chunhwa and the 9 pythons are even more daunting. The 3 reticulated pythons that had mutated before were completely stunned. 1,000 young snakes that can grow rapidly. As long as they devour food, they can grow rapidly. Isn't this terrible too? At this speed, wouldn't it take long before they all possess terrifying combat effectiveness? The number of snake tribes reaches more than 1,000 in an instant. System. These young snakes can also evolve infinitely? Ibe watched these young snakes grow rapidly and finally couldn't help but asked in a low voice at the system. No. At present, only the host owns the infinite evolution ability. As for Wangwon, Chunhwa, Fun-Seeking, and the Golden Lion, they only gain the ability to swallow. By swallowing, they convert food into energy, thereby allowing themselves. His physical fitness has been significantly improved. The same is true for these young snakes. The finished evolution potion, in addition to giving creatures high intelligence, is the most powerful ability to quickly pass the juvenile period and have the power to protect themselves. The system explained. Fuck. After listening to this, Yibei's eyes suddenly glared. Finished product evolution potion? Yibei always thought it could only improve IQ. But obviously, it is not worse than improving IQ to allow newly born creatures to absorb energy and grow up quickly. In other words, as long as there is this kind of medicine, Ibe can cultivate a group of terrifying combat power at the fastest speed at any time. It turned out to be so very good. Ibe nodded in satisfaction. Only oneself is infinitely devoured. Other creatures are at best to improve their physical fitness. No wonder Chunhwa 8 blood pythons for pleasure, have swallowed so many mutant beasts and have not completed the evolution across the species level. After trying to understand this, the previous doubts were finally solved. Even Ibe wanted to understand why the system would let him control the number of apostles as much as possible. As the stage of one's own species improves, one day it will reach an unimaginable level. If the apostles are all low-level creatures, how embarrassing would it be? But the system, is there no way to change their genes? Let their breed level be improved? Ibe continued to ask. About this, of course it can be done. However, every time the gene strength is increased, the host must pay a certain price for this, for example, treasure chests or other valuable things. When the host has this requirement, I will explain in detail to the host. Call. After hearing this, Ibe let out a big breath. This feeling is good. Now that it can be improved. If he can't improve, Ibe will be depressed to die. Chi. Click, click. The young snakes continued to devour, and the voices on the scene kept resounding. 3 hours later, around the gravel mountain, All the corpses of mutant beasts have disappeared, and even some of the dry blood on the ground was swallowed clean by these young snakes. As their bodies grew, their spirit's wisdom also improves rapidly. King, king, king. After all the food was finished, these 1,000 pythons, after feeling the powerful breath of Yibei's body, almost at the same moment, gathered all their eyes on Yibei's body, spit out Shinzi, and made such a sound. In this situation, Yibei was quite calm. I am the strongest. These young snakes are smart. There is nothing wrong with calling yourself a king. What's more, when they were born, Yibei had communicated with them on a spiritual level. In other words, the degree of intimacy of these pythons to Yibei was comparable. Father and son. Very good. Now your body is 2 meters long and the smallest is 1 meter. But this is not enough. In the future, you will all belong to the snake family, and in the near future, we Snake the Clan will have great moves. With your current strength, it is far from enough. In the next time, you will be led by Wang Wan, Manhwa Choyue, and Joy. And during this time, you must do your best to strengthen yourself. As for your 3 reticulated pythons, join Wang Wan and follow Wang Wen's orders. Yibei spit out the letter and said seriously,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
At the scene, a neat voice came. The young snakes quickly stood in line according to their breath. Whoever hatched them would stand on whose side. However, after this allocation, Wang Wen had the largest number, reaching more than 400, while Manhwa Choyue, 8 blood pythons for pleasure, behind each one, did not even have 100 young snakes. But these young snakes are not ordinary young snakes. When it grows up, it is a mutant reticulated python that has evolved from finished medicine. Manhwa Choyue, although the number controlled by the fun seekers is a little less, they are still very satisfied in their hearts. Wait for the young snake to grow up. They are the boss. There are also creeps under his hand. Okay, give you 3 days, these 3 days, free to hunt on the island. You can also go hunting together, but you are not allowed to grab food from the young snakes. Golden Lion, so do you. Looking at these densely packed young snakes, Yibei's mood is excited. After saying this, the pythons and the Golden Lion all stared with excitement. It is conceivable that what will happen to the experimental island and the forest in the red zone in the next 3 days. Wow! Roar! Chi-Chi! Next to the snake's lair, after Yibei's voice fell, various noises came out immediately.
Yes.
At the scene, the pythons and the Golden Lion, after answering Yibei, immediately turned around and madly scattered around the forest. Wow! The sound of crashing resounded in the forest. The terrible killing intent that radiated from them, Yibei could feel that the moment they turned around, the air in the entire forest was a bit cold. 5 minutes later, the scene just left a piece of ruins. Yibei squinted his eyes and looked at this empty, mysterious forest. Deep inside, it was as hot as a flame. Starting today, I am no longer alone, but the Snake King with a powerful army. He even controls a herd of mutant lions. These alone are far beyond the limit of what human beings can do. I really look forward to that day. Lead the army of wild beasts, kill them back to the human world, and kill all those bastards. As he squinted, Yibei's heart unconsciously came up with such thoughts that the chips obtained from Wang Dong had always been collected by the system. Intuition told him that Yibei was still hidden inside. The big secret. The humans who have harmed him. As long as he has a chance, Yibei will never let it go. But after thinking about this, Yibei didn't stop directly on the gravel mountain to rest this time. Zizi. Instead, he moved his body and rubbed against the ground, making a sizzling sound. The experimental island is very big. He has seen the base map before. There are 4 areas in total. Now it only rules 2 areas. Among them, in the white area, according to records, there are a large number of mutant plants. Now Yibei has absolute confidence. With his current physical strength, there is nothing in the entire island that can harm him, except for human beings. Outside the weapon. White area. The yellow area, but it is imperative. After all, the system has said that if you want to evolve to become a Titan Python, the type of genes required is still worse. If it is correct, the remaining genes are definitely in these two regions. Let's take a look at the white area first. Hope to find something. Chi-Chi. Yibei spit out the letter. The body left a deep gully on the ground, and the huge body moved directly to the position of the white area recorded on the previous map. The experimental island is too big. Small words are also very small. But it took Yibei an hour and a half to go from the snake's den to the white area. When he occupies the edge of the intersection of the white area and the red area, his eyes are wide. Because, looking at it, the plants here are completely different from those in the red area. The main poles of those big trees are all green, just like the color of leaves. This situation can only appear in the comics. Besides, the diameter of each tree is at least 10 meters upward. The leaves that cover the sky completely block the sunlight. When standing at the junction, looking into it, there was only an endless darkness and a layer of gray miasma, and he intuitively told Yibei that the miasma could cause many creatures to get lost and then die. The most important thing is that all this is just what you see at the junction. According to records, there are even some plants with offensive power. The danger inside can be imagined. No wonder it's a forbidden zone. This kind of thing can be created. The scientists among humans went crazy. It is really terrible. Fortunately, these experiments are all carried out on this island, and all the selected ones are some land creatures. Otherwise, if the mutant creatures and plants here are brought to the human world, it would be a huge blow to the world. Looking at the scene in front of him, Yibei spit out Shinzi, muttering in his mouth. This time it has nothing to do with wisdom. It was Yibei who had guessed wrong. It's not that those scientists really abandoned this island because of animal and plant mutations, but when they left, they thought that the experiment had failed because they used a kind of poison gas to clean up the entire island. Then the scientists left at the same time. It is estimated that the scientists never dreamed that the last poison gas was actually the key to evolution. If you let them know the current situation on the island, it is estimated that this island has already been swept in by countless humans. The madness of mankind can never be imagined. And the mercenary organization that knows all this has always tried to hide the news about this place, wanting to take the entire island as its own system. If you swallow plants, will you get the corresponding genes? The plants here are all evolved, not ordinary. Yibei squinted. Although the front looks extremely dangerous, but this is not possible the determination to stop him from going forward. 10 kilometers range of mental power. With the movement of his Yibei, in this area, as long as he wants to, he can control all information. It can be said, the white area, even though it was pitch black, was even full of miasma. For Yibei, it would not be an obstacle at all. Theoretically, as long as different genes are swallowed, the host will increase its strength and evolutionary points. If there are powerful plants that can swallow it, it will naturally be no exception. The system answered seriously. Okay. Yibei nodded. Only then decisively moved towards the white area. At the same time, I felt a little funny. When I stepped from the red zone into the white zone, how did I always feel that a carnivorous creature became a vegetarian? Zizi, thinking seriously in my heart. The powerful mental power spread immediately after Yibei stepped into the white area. But just when Yibei was about to do a big fight, the spirit power that spread out directly gave him a feedback that was extremely shocking. Prior to the laboratory on the experimental island for making evolution potions is actually in the white area? Yes, Yibei directly discovered the laboratory that had become a ruin, surrounded by a large number of plant roots, exuding a historical atmosphere. It seems that this time is lucky. Yibei didn't hesitate. Now that he found the laboratory, the next moment, he quickly moved in that direction. Zizi. Yibei moved very fast, and the screaming voice continued. However, when he completely entered the white area, he originally wanted to rush to the ruins of the laboratory at the fastest speed. But he had only advanced less than 100 meters before he discovered the abnormality. The plants here, all are alive. The huge trees and the vines spread crazily, constantly creating obstacles for Yibei, even trying to restrain Yibei several times. Some of the weeds on the ground, when they looked before, except for a little longer, nothing unusual. But when Yi-Bei passed by, the leaves of those weeds immediately turned into sharp blades, sneering, constantly cutting Yi-Bei's body. If not for Yi-Bei evolved several times. The body's resistance to stress has reached level 20. Maybe you just entered this white area, less than 10 seconds, the weeds here will be cut into flesh. It's a magical place. If you can completely control this white area, and even take away all the plants here, it would be a big killer. After moving forward more than 100 meters, I found that the white area was better than I thought. After being even more terrifying, Yi-Bei slowed down. Chi-Chi. The letter was spitting out. When he said this, he moved most of his mental power away from the ruins of the laboratory and turned to carefully observe the plants in the white area. The more he looked at it, the more shocked Yi-Bei was. The white area is not very large, but all the plants here seem to have life. The branches of the big tree will hunt living creatures through motion capture. The body, with a diameter of more than 10 meters, can even move freely in the soil, making a clattering sound. There are many kinds of grass on the ground. Some are as sharp as blades, some are as sharp as thorns. Normally, they are in a normal state, mainly with a little movement, and become an attacking type. Occasionally, there are some bright mushrooms on the ground, which are covered with viscous liquid, which seems to be very poisonous. There are quite a few beautiful flowers, but they are all very big, also alive, can swallow creatures. Terrible. No wonder you can't see any living things in this place. Yi-Bei stared at his surroundings. His movements slowed down a lot this time, and at the same time he closed his eyes and felt everything directly through his mental power. After all, the eyes are a very fragile place at all times, and it would be terrifying to think about it if any fierce plants attack it. The action slows down. Yi-Bei's muscles all began to rise to their peak state. When evading, the speed of the explosion could reach the limit of 40 meters per second in an instant. In this case, those tree vines wanted to push Yi-Bei. The possibility of entanglement is basically zero. Zzz. Yi-Bei continued to move. He originally planned to eat some asterisk plants, but along the way, those plants were so abnormal that he couldn't produce any food at all. Either it is too big, either it is too aggressive. Then, under such circumstances, after half an hour passed, Yi-Bei actually traversed the white area forest for several kilometers and successfully reached the edge of the laboratory ruins. The laboratory is built directly on the ground, surrounded by a large number of giant trees. Even if it is built outside, it will not be captured by satellites in the sky. In addition, Yi-Bei calculated the area of the laboratory a bit. At least there are 3,000 square meters. Most of the main body is made of white marble. Because of the mutation, those white marbles were covered with blood stains and some green sap of plants, and the scene was in ruins. Above the ruins, there are a lot of green trees and vines entwined, and above this laboratory, there is still a hint of reddish gas, which is very strange. Chi-Chi. When Yi-Bei was standing outside the laboratory, he slowly opened his eyes. The scarlet letter spit out from his mouth. With so many mutant plants as obstacles, it is estimated that no one has been here since the people in this laboratory moved out. It's really interesting to be able to turn the entire island into a laboratory in the current situation, the ruins in front of you. Since it's here, let's go in and have a look. Yi-Bei murmured. Yi-Bei's so-called entry was completely violent. Wow. In the next second, his body moved. The huge body smashed into the ruins of the laboratory unceremoniously. Some huge stones piled up there. After being hit by Yi-Bei, they flew very far and finally fell to the ground rumblingly. Bang, bang, bang. Wow. Rumble. Yi-Bei's speed is very fast. He took away all the ruins of useless buildings. 10 minutes. 20 minutes. 1 hour. As time went by, all the things that were seriously valuable by Yi-Beibian in the laboratory remained in place. 2 hours later, the ruins of this laboratory were successfully cleaned out by Yi-Bei. In front of Yi-Bei, there are a large number of bottles and cans, most of which contain some unknown liquids, and there are at least tens of thousands of paper records, and there are many experiments that Yi-Bei has never seen before. The instrument cannot be named. What surprised eBay the most was that there were still 21 computers left. However, 20 of the hard disks in these computers were taken out. It should have been taken out by the laboratory. The person who took it away, there was only one computer. It was in a complete state. You only need to plug in the power source and connect to the internet to view the information inside. Intuition tells eBay, this computer is extraordinary, and it is very likely that it contains everything you need to know. System, do you have a way to turn on this computer? Spit the letter. eBay asked seriously that the experimental island was too mysterious, and eBay urgently wanted to know all the truth about this island. Sorry for the host. These are human technologies. As long as they are operated with the correct technology, they can be used and the system cannot boot them. Okay. Hearing this, eBay's eyes lit up. Only need to pass the correct technical operation. Can it be used? Doesn't this mean, even if you become a snake, as long as you can find the power source, you can still operate the computer? Then, can you help me put away all the things here? When eBay said this, he was a little excited. Of course can. Laugh. The sound of the system just fell, and a silver-white light appeared. The next moment, the experimental equipment piled up like a mountain in front of eBay disappeared out of thin air. I don't know where the system got. This method made eBay quite admired. Very good. The next thing is to attack the mercenary base. There are power sources, enough humans, chips, and computers. It shouldn't be difficult for them to decipher. Seeing things put away, a cold light flashed in eBay's eyes, and then turned around to leave. Just the moment eBay turned around, a gray shadow, as fast as lightning, passed in front of eBay's eyes. Inside the white area mutant forest, are there other creatures? White area. There are dangerous plants everywhere. But when a gray shadow swept past eBay's eyes with a brush, eBay's eyes lit up. The creatures that can survive in the white area not only need to be fast enough, but the body's resistance must also reach a terrifying level. Even the mutant beasts in the red area cannot survive in this area. Then, the shadow just now is definitely a brand new species. Once swallowed, it will definitely be able to increase the evolution points and move further towards the Titan Python. eBay was very excited. When he was about to spread all his mental power, he searched for that shadow. 10 seconds later, eBay, who was entrenched on the ground, kept his eyes widening. Unbelievable. It turned out to be alive? Is this also made in this laboratory? Chi-Chi. Shinzi was vomiting in his mouth, and these voices continued to come from eBay's mouth. The reason is simple. eBay successfully locked the shadow, but what made eBay amazed? It was not an animal. It's a plant that looks like a baby just born. The most important thing is that when eBay perceives this plant, he realizes that he knows it. It happened that when eBay was so amazed, the system that had been silent for a long time suddenly rang in eBay's mind. Host, found a asterisk ginseng. This ginseng was originally on this island for thousands of years. After being transformed by a mutation potion, it broke the ground and became a living thing. It has a great effect on transforming the body. If swallowed, you will directly get 10,000 evolution points. When I said this, even the system was a little excited. 100,000 evolution points? Transform the body? eBay's eyes widened. According to the previous system, human beings stand at the top of the food chain, possess extremely high intelligence, and only gain 10,000 evolution points if they swallow them. But this asterisk ginseng is as high as 100,000 points? From this point alone, it is enough to reflect the value of this ginseng. Whoosh. Next, eBay said nothing. The body swished and turned into a shadow. Wow. Some mutant plants saw eBay move and waved the vines to stop them. Rumble. But when facing eBay's powerful body impact, all the mutant plants that stood in the way were all crushed to pieces. Asterisk ginseng. You are my prey. Don't want to run away today? Ignore obstacles. Furiously rushed in the direction of asterisk ginseng at a speed of 40 meters per second, far exceeding that of asterisk ginseng. Boom. It takes less than 3 minutes. When approaching the escaped asterisk ginseng, eBay flicked his tail fiercely. With a bang, a precise hit. That asterisk ginseng was directly knocked to the ground by Yi Bei's blow and couldn't stand up for a long time. The whole body is off-white. Below the body, there are all tiny roots, thousands of them, densely packed. When slapped on the ground, those roots were still wiggling, which seemed weird to the extreme. What an incredible thing! Yi Bei didn't rush to swallow this ginseng tree, but stared coldly at. It was the first time he saw this kind of thing. Once Yi Bei was also a member of the upper class. He thought he had a great understanding of the whole world, but now, in his heart he began to vaguely feel that he had always had the idea of looking at the sky from the bottom of the well. This world is far more crazy than Yi Bei thought. It's like this baby-sized asterisk ginseng in front of us. If it is captured by humans and sold for auction, with your toes, you can think of how big a wave will be. Snake, King Snake, let me go. I don't want to die. I can give you some roots and promise you will never offend you again. When Yi Bei was observing this ginseng, a magical voice sounded directly in Yi Bei's mind. Okay. Hearing this voice, Yi Bei's eyes glared fiercely again. Ginseng, have you spoken? What a joke. This kind of thing can only appear in those mythological worlds and in those fantasy novels. Animals are not allowed to become refined after the founding of the People's Republic of China. Is it possible to allow plants to become refined? At this moment, Yi Bei felt his heart numb. Host, swallow it quickly. Don't talk to it. It's the system. When he saw Yi Bei was in a daze, this kind of voice constantly resounded in his mind. Roar. After being bewitched by the system, Yi Bei immediately burst out with a loud roar. Chi-chi. At the same time, the huge mouth opened. Sharp and neat teeth, long fangs on both sides of the mouth, plus the terrible killing intent released from the body. After that asterisk ginseng felt the changes in Yi Bei, it was all in fear. The original swaying roots suddenly stopped and then plunged into the ground. The ginseng was originally a plant growing in the soil. To do it is to escape. But how could Yi Bei give it a chance when it comes to food? Whoosh! Yi Bei moved. Suddenly, the huge open mouth rushed towards the asterisk ginseng with a swish. Before waiting for the asterisk ginseng's body, 1/10 of it plunged into the soil. Yi Bei had already swallowed it all into his mouth. Click, click. For the first time to eat such a magical thing, Yi Bei's animality and humanity were superimposed at this moment. After ginseng was put into his mouth, he actually chewed with the 2 rows of sharp fangs in his mouth in a way that humans eat food. Stand up. When you bite it, it's like biting on a very crispy fruit. Yi Bei, who was planning to experience this magic asterisk ginseng, realized that he didn't have this opportunity at all. When the first bite, a scorching energy directly followed the gap between the teeth and quickly spread into his body. The energy in this is much more refreshing than when it swallowed humans. Just for a moment, Yi Bei felt the power in his body boiling again and soaring at a terrifying speed. At the same time, the sound of the system also sounded. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing a mutant asterisk ginseng. Earn 100,000 evolution points. Because of swallowing asterisk ginseng, the host's body will be completely tempered, and this process will last for 10 days. The sound of the system still smelled of excitement. When the sound fell, the asterisk ginseng in Yi Bei's mouth had all been converted into energy and spread in Yi Bei's body. Tempering the body? Immediately after that, an unprecedented feeling began to appear in Yi Bei's body. At the same time, Yi Bei, who is entrenched on the ground, is changing again at a speed visible to the naked eye. Wow! Hoo! Booming! The experimental islands, the white areas, and the mutated plants constantly make various sounds. When Yi Bei swallowed asterisk ginseng, he didn't move because of his body being tempered. He was quickly entangled by the vines of some big trees. Circle after circle, and finally, they are all wrapped up. Even so, there was still no way to stop Yi Bei's physical evolution. The powerful energy in ginseng spreads in Yi Bei's body. If you can see what's inside Yi Bei's body, It's definitely a miraculous scene. The energy transformed from ginseng is golden yellow. Those energy, along the gap between Yibei's teeth, along Yibei's mouth, had not yet entered Yibei's stomach. It had been completely absorbed and then crazily spread in the blood. In the energy, there are many golden beads. Very small, but in the beads, there are mysterious chains hidden. If you have a biologist, you will be amazed when you see this kind of chain, because this is the gene chain. The golden chain and the dark red chain inside Yibei's body entangled with each other. Click, click, fracture, chi, grow out again. Repeat this at least 1,000 times in every second. However, during this process, Yibei didn't feel the slightest pain. As the body was wrapped in the vines, from a certain angle, the vines also built a safe protective body for Yibei. Hot energy flows through the body. Yibei's body was in a calm state, but his consciousness was unprecedentedly clear. He felt that every pore in his body was extremely comfortable. The essence in ginseng is transforming his body step by step. The system did not speak. However, Yibei felt many of his body's values were beating and growing rapidly. Become stronger. Keep getting stronger. This feeling is really refreshing. And this time it became stronger, and Yibei's body was shed again. Layers of thick, grayish-white snake skin fell from the body, and then a brand new snake skin grew. Repeatedly, very fast. Chi, squeak. White area, near the ruins of the laboratory. Time is passing fast. After the vines of the big trees wrapped Yibei, they kept tightening, sniffing, and squeaking, trying to kill Yibei. But no matter how hard the vines retracted, they still couldn't hurt them. Yibei's body has a minute. Because they were wrapped in tree vines, other mutant plants all recovered quiet. To some extent, the vines were helping Yibei. One day passed. Yibei has taken off the snake skin 20 times. If you can see the new flesh on the surface of its body, you will definitely find that it is at least dozens of times stronger and full of a magical luster. And, because of the molting, the space enclosed by the vines is too small. Under that huge force, many tree vines were caused by Yibei's evolution to cause a lot of cracks. Time passed the next day. The number of molting times has reached 40 times. Now Yibei's body is completely wrapped in white snake skin. Fortunately, there are a lot of gaps in these snake skins. When tree vines are wrapped, there are also many gaps. Affect Yibei's normal breathing. 4th day. The 5th day. Time passes quickly. On the 9th day, the number of molting times on Yibei's body had reached 180. The amount of accumulated snake skin was more than the weight of Yibei's own body before. This is beyond physical and logical things. Even Yibei felt incredible. But if you think about it seriously, Yibei can understand it. I swallowed so many creatures before, and my body didn't get bigger. During the evolution, there seemed to be nothing wrong with the energy that turned into the mass of the body. And, in the 9 days of evolution, the thick tree vines were torn apart by Yibei's swelling body several times. But the IQ of these mutant trees is too low. Once the tree vines are torn, they will be broken immediately. New tree and vines were added to successfully cover Yibei. 10th day. Yibei's number of molting reached 200 times. And just after the 200th time was completed, Yibei suddenly realized that he was able to control this body freely again. It's just that I haven't moved for 10 days and my body feels numb. Chi. The muscles tightened a little, and the tree vine made a sneer noise. It seems that it will take a while to recover. Surrounded by the vines, Yibei opened his mouth, muttering to himself with a letter spit out in his mouth. Click, click. However, what Yibei didn't expect was that after the action of opening his mouth, the huge tree vines wrapped around his mouth immediately made a clicking, squeaking sound. The next moment, those tree vines all were broken, causing Yibei's entire head to be exposed. This force? Seeing this situation, Yibei was quite surprised. What I said just now happened completely inadvertently, or it was just a habit. Obviously, there is not much power used, but the hard vines are all shattered like tofu. Incredible. While marveling at his own strength, Yi-Bei was rude this time. The body recovered similarly. Immediately afterwards, he controlled his body and moved gently. Click, click, click. The tree and vines entwined around Yi-Bei's body broke instantly, booming. In the next second, Yi-Bei's huge body lost the power of the vines and fell directly on the ground from the air, making a rumbling sound. The power is too great. A large snake-shaped pit over 3 meters deep was smashed out on the ground, but when he landed, there was a large amount of snake skin that had previously faded around Yi-Bei's body as a cover. In addition to some slight body vibrations, I can't feel any pain at all. Chi 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 chi. Zizi. After landing, Yi-Bei continued to move. His brand new body crawled out of the wrapped white snake skin a little bit, and the sneered, sizzling voice kept resounding, and some trees and vines tried to come and wrap Yi-Bei. Live, but as long as you touch it, you will be smashed into pieces by Yi-Bei's powerful force. About half an hour later, Yi-Bei finally succeeded in coming out of those white snake skins. At the same time, at this moment, he perceives his brand new body through his domain and spiritual power, and realizes that it has completely changed. Wow! White area, forest. The mutant plants here are all asterisk, making a rattling noise, not because of the wind blowing. It's all these plants moving automatically. Yi-Bei's body was entrenched under a huge tree. A large number of vines constantly impacted Yi-Bei's body. However, every time he touched Yi-Bei's body, the vines immediately became like tofu, which became sparse on the spot. Meanwhile, around Yi-Bei's body, those white snake skins piled up like a mountain. The body becomes flexible. Chi-Chi. In Yi-Bei's mouth, a scarlet letter was spit out. Body tempering. That asterisk ginseng is really amazing. This feeling is like the body has been completely reborn. He couldn't help but sigh. There is no other reason. Just a asterisk ginseng made Yi-Bei's body undergo an unprecedented change. The first is the length of the body, reaching 60 meters. This length has surpassed Wang-1, and it is the largest in the entire group of pythons. How long did it take Yi-Bei to evolve from a blood python that has just broken its shell? Just thinking about it, Yi-Bei was very much looking forward to it. Over time, his evolutionary path simply shouldn't be too broad. Of course, in addition to the lengthening of his body, what shocked Yi-Bei the most was his skin. When I just entered the white area before, my skin was grayish-brown, able to fully blend into this forest. But now it's different. It is still grayish-brown, but Yi-Bei can clearly feel that the skin on his body is full of luster and looks very slippery. This is the second thing. On top of those skins, every 10 centimeters or so, in a strip pattern raised about 2 centimeters high. Yi-Bei felt that he could easily control those lines. A control that occurs in one's subconscious. As long as I am willing, those raised lines can instantly become sharp blades. Chi-Chi. Moreover, when Yi-Bei was thinking about this, he naturally experimented unceremoniously, and with his thoughts, he controlled those lines. Chi-Chi Chi-Chi. Immediately after that, the sound of Chick chuckled in the forest. Then on Yi-Bei's body, there really appeared something like a sharp blade with a cold light on it. It seemed that any creature, even steel, could be easily cut into pieces. This is amazing. With such a body, entangled with living things, and then use this kind of patterned blade, it is estimated that no creature can survive, right? Yi-Bei was very excited. Just when he was about to continue experimenting with how powerful his blade lines were, the voice of the system suddenly resounded in Yi-Bei's mind. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing asterisk ginseng and completing the phased genetic fusion evolution. Congratulations to the host for successfully devouring asterisk ginseng and completing the hidden task, the sacrifice of plant life. Get a platinum treasure chest. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing asterisk ginseng and rewarding physical attack attributes. The 3 sounds of the system are very abrupt. But after Yi-Bei listened, his eyes went wide. Damn it. It turns out that this kind of magical lines appeared on my body, which was given by the system when I swallowed asterisk ginseng. In addition, more powerful is yet to come. Can one asterisk ginseng get a platinum treasure box? Bei had swallowed so many mutant beasts before, and he hadn't got a platinum treasure chest? Moreover, according to the exchange data for the previous treasure chests of the system, a platinum treasure chest requires at least 5 golden treasure chests. The most important thing is that I have also completed the phased evolution, and my body has become stronger. At this moment, Bei finally understood a sentence. Happiness came too suddenly. Boom, boom, boom. Even the heartbeat becomes super fast. Platinum treasure box. This is the first time Bei has obtained it. What treasure is there? As long as he thinks about it, Bei can't wait. System, how many treasure chests do I have now? 5 silver treasure chests, 0 gold treasure chests, and 1 platinum treasure chest, the system answered. Normally, 5 silver treasure chests can be exchanged for 1 gold treasure chest. So what about the reverse operation? For example, 1 platinum treasure chest can be exchanged for 1 gold treasure chest? Bei spit out the letter and said after thinking about it seriously. Although the platinum treasure chest is very attractive, but judging from his previous experience of opening the treasure chest by Bei, the contents of the golden treasure chest are all very powerful. It is very difficult to get a treasure chest now. If you exchange platinum treasure chests for 5 golden treasure chests, it is equivalent to saying that today, oneself can once again obtain another 5 incredible abilities, which is really great for improving one's overall combat effectiveness. Excuse me, host. The exchange of treasure chests cannot be reversed, but the exchange of any treasure chest is strictly judged by the system. 5 silver treasure chests are exchanged for 1 gold treasure chest. Then it proves that the contents of the gold treasure chest are definitely better than the sum of the 5 silver treasure chests is even better. Just a single one. The system said. In the first half of the sentence, Bei was still a little disappointed. However, when the system was finished, Bei had no comments anymore. The things in the 5 golden treasure chests together can't compare to the platinum treasure chest? Shouldn't it be so powerful? Bei exclaimed in a low voice. Originally, I came to the white area this time, purely wanting to come in and swallow something casually, gain evolution points, and then evolve toward the Titan Python. As a result, what he got here greatly exceeded Bei's expectations. A large amount of data and experimental equipment left over from the abandoned laboratory, and asterisk ginseng and platinum treasure box. Then, the system, can you help me open the platinum treasure box now? Chi. Bei spit a scarlet letter. In the eyes, all the excitement have been replaced. The platinum treasure box. What exactly will be revealed in it? If it can be compared to 5 golden treasure chests, surely not too bad, right? Do not know why. Since his rebirth, Bei had been extremely calm. At this moment, his mood turned out to be very nervous. There is even a feeling of suffering. But the system does not give Bei a chance to think. Yes, host. The system answered very decisively. After the voice fell, in front of Bei, a platinum treasure box radiating bright light appeared immediately. And the treasure chest is still opening little by little. Shine. Silvery light. No. Compared with the ordinary silver-white light, this time, this light is even more dazzling. Bei's eyes widened. When the light appeared in his eyes, he felt a little pain from the sting of his eyes. However, even so, Bei didn't shut up and didn't even blink. That is a treasure chest formed by real platinum. There is an old lock on it, suspended directly in front of Bei. With the help of the system, there is no need for Bei to do anything. The lock will automatically open, and then the lid of the treasure chest will be opened little by little. And this moment is strange. Originally, Bei's domain ability could easily perceive all the changes in his surroundings, and even the extremely small ants could clearly perceive it. But now, no matter how Bei releases his powerful mental power, he cannot penetrate this platinum treasure chest. Before opening the lid, he can see the contents one step in advance. This situation makes Bei feel that the current strength is far from enough. He can become even stronger. Chi. The silver-white light was still shining. Those lights shot out, as if making a sneer. At last. 10 seconds later, The platinum treasure chest was completely opened. The dazzling light inside gradually disappeared, and at the same time, the contents of the treasure chest were very clearly passed to Yi-Bei's eyes at this moment. Okay. After seeing the contents of the platinum treasure chest, Yi-Bei was taken aback. Then, in his eyes, he was quickly enveloped in many years of incomprehension. System. Didn't it say that the contents of this platinum treasure chest are comparable to 5 golden treasure chests? Why is there only a small kit bag? Nothing else? Yi-Bei spit out the letter. His voice became a bit cold at this moment. Yes, in this platinum treasure chest, there is only a human slap-sized pouch. It looks very ordinary, nothing special. However, facing Yi-Bei's questioning, the system was very calm. This is called the Chinkuan bag. It is a space. Host. You will know if you try to swallow it. Huh? Hearing this, Yi-Bei was taken aback for a moment. Universe bag? Well, the name seems to be very awesome, unheard of, unseen, and existence beyond common sense. But this kind of thing is actually used to swallow it? How big does this bag look like? If you swallow it, it won't be enough to stuff your teeth. And swallowing a bag, what does this mean? If it hadn't been for the system to help him all the time, Yi-Bei really felt that this guy was playing with himself. Okay, I believe you once. Laugh. With a suspicious attitude, Yi-Bei spit out the letter. After saying this, the scarlet letter stretched out. Just a roll of it easily got the universe bag and the platinum treasure chest into his mouth. The next moment, it was swallowed whole. To be honest, before devouring this so-called Chinkuan bag, Yi-Bei was very confused in his heart. But when the Chinkuan bag entered his mouth, all the doubts in Yi-Bei's heart just disappeared in an instant, replaced by unprecedented excitement. Yes, this kind of excitement is even more exciting than swallowing asterisk ginseng after 10 days of evolution. After the Chinkuan bag entered his mouth, it immediately turned into a part of Yi-Bei's body. Then, Yi-Bei unexpectedly discovered that there was a whole new piece of land in his body. Fantastic. Beyond logic, beyond imagination, it's totally incredible. As long as Yi-Bei's mind moved, he could easily perceive the existence of that piece of land. All the land above is fertile soil, with an area of at least 20 square kilometers. But there are no plants on it. It looks very desolate. However, Yi-Bei didn't care at all at this moment, because he knew the fertile soil really well. This place is like a magical storage place. Anything can be stored in such a large area. However, despite the excitement, Yi-Bei did not forget the most systematic existence. System. This thing? It's wrong. It's the Chinkuan bag. How is it used? After integrating the universe bag, Yi-Bei already knew part of the usage method, but couldn't help but ask the system. The universe bag. As the name suggests, it can be used to store things. When it merges with the host, as long as the host has a thought, anything can be received. The system answered lightly. Anything? Yi-Bei opened his mouth. Correct. Then, isn't it possible that I can hide in myself? Of course. The Chinkuan bag links the universe, and its space is not in this world, but in other latitudes. But there is too much knowledge involved in it, and you don't understand it. Anyway, that's basically it.
Fuck.
After hearing this, Rao Yi-Bei couldn't help saying this no matter how calmly he was. Can you hide yourself in it? And isn't it a space belonging to this world? What does this show? It means that as long as there is this thing, even if he encounters the craziest blow from human beings, Yi-Bei can take the entire snake clan and hide in the universe bag. This means that there is a safest refuge. Even when he was at a disadvantage, Yi-Bei could easily escape. The Chinkuan bag is too awesome. Anyway, at this time, Yi-Bei felt that this platinum treasure box was worth it. Great value. Not to mention using 5 other abilities. Even if he uses 10 or 20, he will definitely not change it. Okay, correct. Excited, Yi-Bei's eyes lit up again. He thought of something more exciting. System, do you say that this Chinkuan bag can hold anything? Of course. But there are also area restrictions. Beyond the storage area, Chinkuan bags cannot be made. I know this. I see that there is fertile soil in it. So if I plant plants on it, is it considered to be used? There are some gaps between plants and plants, so what can be stored in them? Yibei said excitedly. The plants you planted are counted too. Of course, you can store things in the gaps inside, as long as the host can fit them down. The system answers immediately. Yay. After hearing this, Yibei almost cheered directly. What is the area of the Chinkuan bag? 20 square kilometers. The entire white area is probably not so big, right? And so, next, Yibei hardly hesitated. Chi-Chi. A scarlet letter came out of his mouth. My eyes slowly narrowed. At this moment, the voice became very calm, and then he muttered to himself, "That's good. Now put the entire white area into the universe bag." The moment the sound fell, on the experimental island, weird changes happened immediately. Chi-Chi, Chi-Chi. The sound of sneer continued to resound on the experimental island. At the same time, the mercenary base. These days, they have been using drones to hover over the experimental island, observing every movement of the island. Just now, when the video here was delivered back, the high-level insiders were all stunned. In the meeting room, the chief of the mercenary base urgently summoned all the senior officials for a meeting. On the screen, the video of the experimental island returned is being played continuously. Those high-level people who were called up were a little depressed at first, because there have been too many meetings recently. But when they entered the conference room and saw the situation inside the big screen, they all stunned on the spot. They didn't even act on the chair. They stood there, their mouths wide open, their eyes widened, and they couldn't speak for a long time. On the big screen, the picture being played is exactly the white area of the experimental island. The original area was full of dense woods that couldn't be seen. But at this moment, there seems to be a mysterious power acting on this forest. All high-level officials, including the person in charge of the mercenary base, can see clearly. Experimental island, white area. That area, under surveillance, slowly twisted, and all the big trees were twisted together. Chi-Chi, Chi-Chi. Across the screen, they could all feel the terrifying power of that mysterious power, as well as the constant sneer. The speed of distortion is very fast, and, when twisted, the entire white area is disappearing little by little. 1 minute later, the entire white area, in front of the surveillance camera, disappeared completely and replaced by a vast ocean. If it weren't for this mercenary base, it would have been exploring the experimental island. When it was replaced by the sea, I wouldn't even have thought that this area was originally part of the experimental island. Hoo. These high levels, looking at the big screen, their breathing became rapid. After a long time, a high-level executive couldn't help but put his gaze on the head of the mercenary base. And the person in charge seems to have understood this high-level problem a long time ago. I know what you want to ask. This video is real. There is no trace of fraud. It happened to be taken by our drone just now and sent back in real time. Besides, for this area, I checked the information before. The person in charge of the mercenary base paused, seeing the sluggish expressions of everyone, and then continued. The entire experimental island is divided into 4 areas, a red area, a white area, and a green area. In the green area, this kind of division, in fact, many people on our mercenary base are aware, and the piece that just disappeared, compared to the map, the entire white area has disappeared. Hiss. After the general manager of the mercenary base said this sentence, a hissing sound of air conditioning reverberated in the meeting room. The high levels stared wide-eyed and their faces were incredulous. The entire white area, all disappeared? White area. It is the home of mutant plants and it is also a restricted area of life. It's scarier than the red zone. As a result, the whole area disappeared completely in a blink of an eye, as if it had never appeared before. This kind of thing is too sci-fi. Boss, if this video is real, then? A high-ranking mercenary was stunned for a long time. Then he spoke, but he said nothing. If all this is true, it means that there is definitely some incredible power on the island that can make the entire island disappear. Think about it, everyone. If this thing is made into a weapon? In shock, the head of the mercenary base kept shining in his eyes. Benefits come first. In his eyes, there are only banknotes left, a lot of banknotes. I decided to continue discussing the issue of sending troops to the experimental island. This time, no mistakes are allowed, and the entire island, the most cutting-edge power. Soon the general manager of the mercenary base, made such a decision. At the same time, on the experimental island, when Yibei got the entire white area into the universe bag, he himself entered the universe bag, and the huge body disappeared out of thin air. No scientific instrument in this world can capture it. It's incredible. What kind of power is this? Looking at the environment in front of him in Shinkuin's bag, Yibei was also shocked to the extreme. Originally, he just wanted to harvest the mutant plants and put them on the fertile soil. But now, the entire white area has been moved over. Those plants came to an unfamiliar environment and instantly took root in the fertile soil of Shinkuin bag. Yibei's body was entrenched in it. He clearly perceives that when these plants appear in the Shinkuin bag, he can feel their every move and even control the movements of these plants. Universe bag. In other words, this is the absolute space that belongs to his Yibei. It's amazing. These mutant plants will become my greatest lethal weapon. Chi. Yibei spit a scarlet letter. A move of consciousness. Wow. Suddenly, vines protruded from several huge trees. But this time, these vines didn't come to attack Yibei, but all rose from the ground to form a tray, directly supporting Yibei slowly. From now on, this forest will be the forest that belongs to my Yibei. Then, it's called the Death Forest. When the vines lifted Yibei to a height of thousands of meters, he looked down at this large misty forest composed of mutant plants, and Yibei's voice was trembling. The harvest this time is really great. The platinum treasure box is indeed well-deserved. In the next time, Yibei kept controlling the plants here, and finally discovered that these plants, as if they had become one with him, were more flexible to control than his own body. Any creature, if it were sent to this death forest, if so, Yibei can have absolute confidence to control these plants to complete the killing. It's been 10 days, and I don't know what the situation of the pythons is now. With this universe, it will be much more convenient. Excited, Yibei's thoughts moved again. In the next second, a shattered space appeared directly in front of him, who was held up by the tree vines, and then, in the blink of an eye, Yibei sucked in. The whole process takes less than 0.1 seconds, or even faster. Moreover, when Yibei opened his eyes again, he suddenly realized that he had appeared in the red area, and he was surrounded by snakes. Those snakes are in a dull state. I guess I was all shocked by my sudden appearance. The red area. Chi. Zizi. A large number of pythons gathered together, densely packed. Where these pythons gathered, the surrounding big trees were all torn down, leaving only a huge open space. The python group here has the shortest body length of 10 meters. 9 giant pythons occupies the center. These 9 snakes are Wangwan, Chunwakuyu, looking for fun with them. Chi. The scarlet letter in his mouth kept spitting out, and they got together to discuss something. Since the use of finished evolution medicines, the IQs of these pythons have begun to surpass humans. King, it has disappeared for 10 days. In these 10 days, we have swallowed all the mutant beasts in the entire yellow area. In these 10 days, everyone's strength has also grown a lot, and the entire island. Only the white area is left, and the red zone where we are. Chi. It was Wangwan who spoke first, with a cold tone. Yes, in the past 10 days, these pythons led the snake tribe army and marched directly towards the yellow area. There are also a lot of mutant beasts. It's a pity that they have been tamed by humans before, and they are not too fierce. So, they all become food for the python group. Wang will definitely appear again. The entire island has almost reached its limit. The number of our snake clan is too large. If each snake swallows 10 mutant beasts, it will need more than 10,000. Over time, this number will continue to increase. We had to find new food sources before. I don't know where the king is. Whether the snake clan can rise depends on this period of time. Food. Yes, we must find a new source of food, otherwise, even if we grow stronger and are restricted by this island, our snake clan will never be able to move forward. When this was said, the scene, almost all the pythons showed a touch of imperceptible despair. The island is big though. But one day, after really turning the entire island into a snake clan, swallow prey and the same kind in the future, 9 pythons spit out the letter and kept talking. When talking about eBay, their eyes were expectant and worried. What is expected is that eBay will be able to come back and lead the snake clan towards glory forever. At the same time, although they have gained IQ, but they are also very clear that all this can be done with the help of eBay. No matter when it is, eBay is their backbone and their king. There will never be any changes. 10 days. They have worries, and that is normal. What should I do if the king does not come back? Laugh. However, just as the 9 pythons were talking about them, suddenly, in the middle of them, a crack was torn in the space. Sneer. The speed is too fast. When they reacted, all of their eyes were almost glaring. The 1,000 mutant reticulated pythons around them even opened their mouths wide. King! 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 Chi 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 chi. In the next instant, the whole group of snakes completely boiled, and the voice calling for the king was constantly resounding in the forest. Food restrictions. They put all their hopes on eBay. The moment eBay appeared, all the despair in their hearts disappeared, replaced by fanaticism and excitement. Okay, as for eBay, as soon as he emerged from the universe space, he found that he was surrounded by pythons. To be honest, this situation surprised eBay. He actually moved the space just now. The position should be in the white area. But when he saw all the pythons around him yelling for himself king, eBay suddenly felt blood boiling. Came back. In 10 days, he returned to the snake clan. Ch. After eBay appeared, his gaze swept across the snakes. Of course, when he was observing these snakes, almost all the pythons focused their eyes on eBay, especially the 9 pythons closest to eBay. Shocked. Their breathing became a little hurried, their mouths stretched out, but they couldn't say anything for a long time. But in my mind, everything is already occupied by exclamation. First of all, the way eBay appeared is too unbelievable. Second, they can clearly feel that eBay has become stronger again, several times stronger than 10 days ago. The length of his body has also increased sharply, far surpassing Wangwon. The most terrifying thing is the circle above the body. The raised stripes of the circle made these pythons all feel a terrible murderous aura. Very good, everyone is here. This is also good, saving me from looking for you. Chi-Chi. Facing the shock of these pythons, eBay took the initiative to speak in the end. The letter was spitting out, and the voice was a bit strong. Wangwon, Chunhwa Qyu, have fun, and talk about the results you have achieved in the 10 days I have been away. eBay continued. Okay. At this moment, the 9 pythons did not dare to be stunned anymore. All came to mind. When looking at eBay, his eyes were quickly occupied by excitement. Even the mutant lions in the distance, as well as the golden lions. Wong. Originally, in 3 days, we caught a large number of mutant beasts in the red area to complete the initial improvement of the body. But in the process of devouring, we found that the number of mutant beasts in the red area is limited. He swallowed recklessly, and it didn't take long for him to be in a state of no food. Later, after waiting for 2 days, I didn't see the king back. After discussing it, we decided to go to the yellow area. Swallowed in the yellow area for 4 days, the snakes went out together, swallow all the mutant beasts inside. Chi-Chi. Wangwon spit out the letter. His voice was quite excited. What? Swallow all the yellow areas? After eBay listened, a cold light flashed in his eyes. To evolve to become a Titan Python, but requires a lot of genes from different mutant beasts. If all the mutant beasts in the yellow area are erased, wouldn't it be that you will never have the chance to evolve into a Titan Python on this island? eBay couldn't bear such things. Feeling the sudden increase in murderous aura of eBay, Wangwon's body trembled with fright, and he dared not speak at all. King. It is reasonable for us to devour the mutant beasts in the yellow area. We did not destroy their cubs, and for each type, we will leave a certain number of them. At the same time, we will prepare food for the king's return. Divide all the mutant beasts in the entire yellow area into different types, each of which captured a male and a female. And now all the mutant beasts are handed over to the golden lion to take care of them. The blood python, Chun, spit out the letter and said quickly, "Oh." Hearing this, Yi Bei's killing intent disappeared instantly. Excited instead. It seems that the entire experimental island has been completely controlled by myself after being swallowed by the snakes. The red area. 9 huge pythons surrounded a gray-brown python. The body was trembling slightly, with fear. In addition to these pythons, there are more than 1,000 mutant reticulated pythons surrounding them. The cold breath seems to envelop the entire forest. Well, the middle one is naturally Yi Bei. After hearing the answer from Chun, he vomited with satisfaction. It's not in vain to use the finished evolution medicine for these pythons. After their IQ has improved, they still know the impact and consequences after doing things. Store a large number of cub mutants, waiting for them to grow up, and there will be a lot of food. But, at present, Yi Bei is not concerned about the ecology of the island, or the food issue in the future. Then Yi Bei continued to say, "Didn't you capture a batch of mutant beasts in the yellow area? Take me over now." The tone of the command.
Yes.
The 9 pythons answered almost simultaneously. Zizi. Then, these pythons walked ahead and started to lead Yi Bei. The 1,000 mutant reticulated pythons around immediately gave way to a passage, and after the 10 boa constrictors Yi Bei, Wang Wan, Chunhua Choyue, and the fun-seeking go first, they followed closely. More than 1,000 pythons the group. Each one is huge and mighty. Chi-chi. Wow. When moving, such a sound resounded throughout the forest. Within a few kilometers, no mutant beasts dared to approach. All of them stayed away. Yi Bei squinted. The body was on the ground, leaving a deep gully. This is the first element to evolve into a titan python. As for other things, I'll talk about it later. These pythons, the yellow mutant beasts they prepared for themselves, must be swallowed up. Maybe they can be swallowed up, be able to become a titan python. After thinking of this, Yi Bei's mood gradually improved. The white area, the dead forest, all have been put in the bag of the universe. All mutant beasts in the red area have eaten once. The green area has long been swept away. The only difference on the scene was the genes of the mutant beasts in the yellow area. Yi Bei felt that the evolution to become a titan python was right in front of him. Roar. Ho ho ho. Yi Bei moved about 1 kilometer. After entering the golden lion protection circle, the golden lion let out a roar, leading all the mutant lions, all standing respectfully in front of Yi Bei. King! 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 A large group of lions, with their mouths open, called him Yi Bei as king. Okay. This feeling is very refreshing. At least Yi Bei feels that I can easily subdue such a large group of mutant lions, and if he is a human, he can just dream of it. Wang Wen said before, the mutant beasts in the yellow area have been captured by you. Now take me over. Chi-chi. Yi Bei spit out the letter, and when he spoke, he glanced at these mutant lions earnestly. First of all, after 10 days of changes, the golden lion has become a lot stronger, standing there, like a golden mountain, with great momentum. The lions standing behind them are much shorter. However, choosing one head randomly and placing it in this red area is also a top-notch existence. It seems that it is necessary to find an opportunity for these lions to also undergo the baptism of finished evolving potions. In the future, these lions will also be a very powerful fighting force. Yi Bei thought to himself. The reason why they are not evolving now is simple. There is one sentence Yi Bei will always remember clearly. The non-my race must have different hearts. Even the same clan can frame each other. Now it is because of controlling the golden lion that these mutant lions are allowed to surrender. If there is no golden lion, it is really different. Yes, king. Roar. The golden lion opened his mouth and answered in a low voice. When he spoke, He raised his head and looked at Yi Bei. After seeing Yi Bei's deep gaze, the whole body of the golden lion couldn't help but tremble. That is, surrender and fear from the heart. Well, hurry up. Yi Bei put away the thoughts in his heart, spit out the letter. His voice was cold. 3 minutes later, Yi Bei brought a large group of troops and stopped mightily. King, all the mutant beasts in the yellow area are here. After stopping, the golden lion opened his mouth and said, not daring to look at Yi Bei, but lowered his head. Okay, well. Yi Bei nodded, then leaned over his body and looked forward. This is a lot of huge pits. All are in the shape of concave. A large area densely packed. Each pit is customized according to the size of the mutant beast. The least is more than 5 meters deep, and the largest is more than 20 meters. At the same time, there are only mutant beasts of the same type in each pit, densely packed. When I first saw this scene, Yi Bei was still quite surprised. The pythons who have been baptized by finished medicines have really great IQs. They can create so many pits, just like the traps made by humans. Also very clever to separate the different types to prevent them from killing each other. You guys step back. These mutant creatures are all my food. Chi-Chi. After observing the situation, Yi Bei's eyes slowly lit up. When saying this, the scarlet letter spit out, Zizi. At the same time, his body moved quickly without hesitation. Roar. The speed of the body has reached the extreme. With his mouth wide open, bursts of violent roars. Click, click, click. Thus, an extremely scene began to appear in front of the entire snake clan. One bite. In particular, there were sharp teeth in Yi Bei's mouth. At the same time that he swallowed, the teeth directly made the mutant beast rattle. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing a mutant monkey and gaining 10,000 evolution points. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing an evolutionary mouse and gaining 1,000 evolution points. After Yi Bei's devouring started, this time, the voice of the system finally started to resound in his mind. The number of evolution points directly showed a state of explosion. In the yellow area, there are more than 100 mutant beasts of different types. At this moment, Yi Bei found that he had absolute confidence. As long as he swallowed all these mutant beasts, he would be able to evolve 100% again. Titan Python. This is the ancient giant snake. The whole world, now there is no one. If you can really become a Titan Python, it is definitely a leap forward. Click, click. Yi Bei feels unprecedented excitement, and the speed of devouring has also accelerated crazily.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.